Hello, everybody, and welcome to Raw Real Politics. I'm your host, Todd Jensen, and today we are going over the 2024 United States gubernatorial races. And we actually can take the lead in this by quite a handsome margin because, as you see on the screen, we already have a bunch of states up here, including Utah, Montana, North Dakota, Missouri, Indiana, West Virginia, North Carolina, New Hampshire, Vermont, Delaware, and Washington. But who is going to pick up the most out of the 11 gubernatorial college, anyways, we call it? Who is going to pick up the majority of those? And we can easily start doing this, and we can easily start doing this in the name of we'll start with Delaware, and that's usually a safe Democrat state. And really, they have it as a D+7. So there's no reason to say the Democrats aren't going to easily win this round as far as getting their first shot up on the board. So we'll just flip the state of Delaware right there. We'll flip that blue. Now, when we talk about other certain states that are going to be likely or safe blue, we're talking about the state of Washington, which has been right now, listen, it's a D+5, D+6. It is a likely to safe for the Democrat Party. So we're just going to sit here and we are really going to put Washington right there in Democrat hands. But the biggest thing is the Republicans have picked up so many states. And so many states that's not going to be funny. I mean, right now in Washington, your biggest person that is a challenger to the establishment for the Democrats, and there's a bunch of them. I mean, we can sit here and go over. There's Ricky Anthony, who's a Democrat. We got Semi Burr, who's a Republican. I mean, some of these guys are just going to be absolutely wonderful, regardless if you're for either party. But we here are a Republican channel. We are a Republican safe state where I live, and so we are going to be more conservative. But if you're in a Democrat zone, I mean, you got some competition. You got Edward Kale the fourth. You got Ricky Anthony, like I just mentioned, and then you keep going down this list. I mean, you got Bob Ferguson, who's going to be a Democrat. You got Fred Grant, Cassandra Hanson. These are all Democrats, and not like Bill Hirt is going to have an opportunity to flip that state. It's not like Jennifer Hoover's going to have a chance to flip that state for the Republican. I mean, there's Leon Lawson. Now, some of these guys may have big names. Some of them might not. Semi Burr might have the bigger name recognition. Same with A.L. Brown. But Washington is going to be a very safe Democrat state, and that's not going to move very often. Now, when we come down to the state of Montana, that can be a whole different ballgame. But Montana is always going to be one of those that are going to be safe Republican. I mean, we got Republican Greg Guilford, who's going to take that role. And right now, it is likely, I mean, it is a likely safe Republican state that is really easy to flip into the Republican column. And so Montana is going to be easy. Now, when it comes to my state of Utah, you're going to have Phil Lyman, who was a state representative, and the incumbent, who is going to be Spencer Cox. Now, Spencer Cox, if you all know from the media in the last few years, he is the only governor who's come out and said that he's going to be basically pro-pronouns. I've never heard a governor just sit there and admit that I'm going to use he, him pronouns when talking to school age K through 12 kids on a live press conference or a live stream event. That was really shocking, and it makes you wonder, is he buddy with the establishment, and is he buddy with the Biden administration? We've all seen him, and so some people say that he is shouted back at President Biden, but I really doubt it. He seems like the incumbent who just wants to hang on to be around. But we have the challenger in Phil Lyman, who is going to challenge the status quo. He is going to make sure that Utah is going to stay amazing, and he's going to help the United States, keep amazing. And he's also going to help the path of Make America Great Again, which is Donald Trump. He is going to set that path. So when the June 25th primary comes around, we're going to really see if it's going to be the incumbent Spencer Cox or if it's going to be flipped into Phil Lyman's hands, but for right now, I'm going to say it's going to be safe Republican, and there's no doubt about that. Now, we're going to keep moving down this list, and we're going to start down with the state of Missouri next. And right now, when the Republicans, they got Jay Ashcroft, they got Bill Engel, they have Jeremy Gill, they have Darren Grant, and I may be butchering some of these names, and I apologize. You got Mike Cahoe, you got Daryl McClellan, and Robert Olson. Now, maybe Missouri has this runoff. I'm not 100% sure. And maybe their primary is coming up. Whoever wins that primary is obviously going to keep it in Republican hands because it is a most likely to safe Republican stronghold. So for Missouri, we're going to go over here. We're going to keep that right there. So whoever wins their primary is going to obviously keep the state in our state. Now, moving on, let's go to North Dakota really quick. And again, right there, we actually have kind of what is a general primary. Now, this, I don't know, maybe Kelly Armstrong up there can pull this off. Maybe it's Tammy Miller for the Republican Party. And then you got a Democrat challenger who's going to be Meryl Peppencom, or however you say that. It's not really a likely scenario that the Democrats going to win because right now it is a 66.6% chance that this is going to stay in Republican hands. So North Dakota, between Tammy and Kelly, whoever wins out of their primary, is going to basically keep North Dakota right here going down the Republican line. And that is a good thing for the United States. And we're looking forward to working with them in all capacities. Let's go on to the state of Indiana now. Now, Indiana could be a little bit of a safe, which it should be. Now, Indiana is basically got this election in the bag. It is a basically a 57% for likely to solo Republican with Mike Broom. Now, Donald Rainmaker, which is a libertarian, he's going to challenge that as far as Jennifer McCormick, which is the Democrat. But I believe Mike is going to take it. He is going to keep that state red, and we're looking forward to working with him. And also, it's really easy. Now, on to the state of West Virginia, a state that I absolutely love. Charleston is one of my favorite cities of all time. If you've never been there, I suggest you go there. At least go to it. Surrounded by beautiful mountains. But just like Indiana, just like Utah, it is a safe Republican stronghold with Patrick Mumsey, who's going to lead that state in the gubernatorial race against Democrat Steve Williams. Now, Steve doesn't really have a chance. It is being term limited, but West Virginia, again, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, safe Republican. Now, North Carolina, another state that I absolutely love. North Carolina, right now, sadly, it can be one of those states that we can flip. Because right now, there's a 51.5 Democrat stronghold, but will Mark Robinson, who is the Republican challenger to Josh Steen, Josh Steen, the Democrat who is trying to make that a Democrat stronghold, but Mark Robinson could tip that into the favor of the Republicans because there are two more. There's a Green Party candidate with Wayne Turner, who could take votes. Now, I'm not going to say Raleigh and, who's a very strong Democrat city. You got Asheville, very strong Democrat city. You got Charlotte, which is a very Democrat city. But everything around those that I am mentioning, everything outside Tobacco Road, everything outside Charlotte, everything outside Asheville is basically solid Republican. So we look at North Carolina. Could we flip into Republican hands? And I believe Mark Robinson is going to do that over the Democrat. Now, right now, there's only a 51.5% chance that the Democrats are going to maintain power, at the gubernatorial level. But you know what? For namesake, North Carolina, you are being flipped. Now, we only got two more states, so bear with me. We got New Hampshire and we got Vermont. When it comes to the state of New Hampshire, now, New Hampshire is one of those that's always usually been pretty easily Democrat stronghold, but for the last election, it is now in Republican stronghold as far as New Hampshire with 57%. And that is very great. We got Chris Sununu. Now, Chris Sununu is not running for re-election. He's actually retiring. So and now it's going to come down to Sean File, Chuck Morse, and Kelly Ayotte, who are the Republicans vying for the seat for the outgoing and retiring Chris Sununu. But the challengers for the Democrat Party are going to be Joyce Craig and I think her name is Cindy Warmington. But these are Democrats. And right now, usually New Hampshire, if it wasn't for Chris Sununu, would be a Democrat state. But we can flip that because it is right now a likely Republican state. So it's really easy for us to keep that in a very likely Republican. And we're going to make it solid red because at the end of the day, I believe that with Chris Sununu backing one of them, there's going to be a very good chance that that's going to happen. Now, the last state is on to Vermont. And the state of Vermont is usually one of those states that could be a 70% Republican stronghold. Now, that is very amazing. Phil Scott has done a very good, decent job. I believe he will bring re-election, and that can easily determine these 11. We're going to give it right now, the state of Vermont to the Republican, and that's going to be 9 of 11. Now, right now, the Democrats don't have a prayer. They don't have a chance. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. It's been a pleasure coming to this live stream with you. However, we can't do this without you. It is up to us, and it's here right now. Thanks for watching Raw Real Politics, the gubernatorial election, and we will catch you next time.